Okay, we're going to talk about some of the advanced settings around your company's fiscal year and tax return and all the things. So we come in here to accountant settings and we come to advanced. So we're going to talk about accounting section and company type section. So in here, if I edit this, the first month of the fiscal year, right? So this is when are you going to start your reports being run by? So a lot of times people will have fiscal years end at the end of a quarter. Basically, it's at the end of any month that is not December, because if it's the end of December, then it's a calendar year. So first month of our fiscal year, January, if we say January, then the last month of our fiscal year is December, so it's really a calendar year. This is something that you should definitely discuss with your CPA about what the timing is that is best for your company. Can be a different month, particularly because of some kind of high volume, like maybe if you are in the business of dealing with schools, your fiscal year end might be August 31st because September 1st starts the new school years mostly, although they mostly start in August now, but it could be something along those lines. So the first month of your income tax year, this could be different. I'm not a CPA here, but it could be different based on having a short tax year. Most of the time, my expectation is that it's always going to be the same as the fiscal year. Our accounting method here, so choosing cash versus an accrual basis, this is not going to do anything except for modify the reports, the default setting on your reports. So if I go run a P&L and I have it set to accrual basis, then it's going to default to accrual. I can flip it to cash basis on the report itself. So this is just the default. If you are trying to make a choice and your CPA says you need to report or you report on a cash basis, that's fine. That's for your income tax. You run your taxes once a year, right? I mean, quarterly you should be paying and things like that, but that is basing your default reports on once a year cash basis. Accrual basis is how the majority of companies run their company to make decisions. Okay, so my suggestion is always put this on an accrual basis, and when it comes to tax time, then run the P&L and inside the report, flip it to cash basis. Maybe I should show you that real quick. So if we come down to reports and we go into our, it's taking a second here, we go into our profit and loss report here, okay. Up top, it says accounting method, default to accrual. I can just flip it to cash. Very simple, right? We don't have to have our default at the cash basis. Definitely, if you have questions on it, reach out to us because I so recommend you run on accrual basis. Okay, and then we have the close our books. So what this is, 100% should also be doing this. This is that we're saying, okay, we have finished posting to a particular period. We have finished making modifications to a particular period. We are going to make sure that nobody else can make changes behind this closing date. Okay, so if I set my closing date to 12/31/2020, then I have the option here, allow changes for viewing a warning, or allow changes after viewing a warning, which would say, all right, I tried to go in and post a transaction as of 6/30/2020, and I'm going to get a warning, but it will allow me to continue. That's not very effective, right? Because people are just keying things in. They're going, doing their thing. They don't realize that they put 6/30/2020 instead of 6/30/2021. And that's going to be really hard now, especially because we're in the 2020s, right? So 21, people could have accidental mistypings frequently. You definitely don't want to allow changes after viewing a warning. I don't even feel like that should be an option. Okay, here, allow changes after viewing a warning and entering a password. So basically what this is saying is that we're closing the period unless you have a password, and then you can allow posting with this password. This is the way that I would suggest setting it up. You don't want to make it so that nobody can ever post, right? Once we close December, we still have to make our closing entries, our tax adjusting entries. We still need to do those things. Only the people with the password should do this. So this password should be very limited, And if somebody gets the error warning and says, hey, you need to enter a password to post into this prior period, then they can come to you, the senior accountant or the controller, the CFO, and ask. Okay, so definitely 100% set up this. The other one is company type. This is very quick. It's just it asks you this when you set up the company file in QBO as well. So this is just if you're going to connect into like a ProTax or TurboTax or anything like that and do your filings automatically, then we have which form are they going to flow into, basically. So it just sets that up. And also on the chart of accounts, when we set up the chart of accounts, it'll pull information based on the form that you choose here. So it should be based on your entity setup. If you are a sole proprietor, partnership, S Corp, Corp, nonprofit, limited liability, etc. All right, so those are some basic settings in the advanced area.